before or shall never be again. You don't want to be there. That's why the Lord keep telling you, and Paul telling you as well, make certain that you do not be deceived. Because those that are deceived, those that might get caught up in this thing, they might give up their God. Some going to give up their God. You got somebody whooping on your head telling you to give up your God, you might give him up. You know, it's easy to say what you are and what you not going to do now. Because ain't nobody standing there whooping on your head. But once somebody starts whooping on your head, all that can change very easily. Now, it says that the woman was taken to the wilderness. Go ahead and read. Verse 13. Go ahead and read.
And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. And the serpent.
And you have it again, don't you? 3 1/2 here. Notice what she is nervous. You know what nervous means? That means what she will be taken care of, provided for. In the wilderness, that's where the Lord is going to provide for his people. Go ahead and read on.
15.
Go ahead.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
Go ahead.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ.
Here we have it again, making war against the saints, right? You know, we read it in Daniel, didn't we? Then we turned around and read it again in the 13th chapter of Revelation, and here we are reading it again in the 12th chapter of Revelation. Now, let's go to Revelation chapter 8, and we'll begin reading at verse 1. Revelation 8. And we'll pick it up at verse 1. 8 and 1. 8 and 1. So now we got the beginning of the Great Tribulation there. You know, it's all started when the man moved in the temple and declared himself to be God. That's when it all got started, and now we understand that it will last some 3 1/2 years. And we understand as well that the Lord is going to take the church to the wilderness at the start of this Great Tribulation, where she will be provided for there in the wilderness. Let's go now to Daniel chapter 8, and we'll begin reading at, Revelation chapter 8, and we'll begin reading at verse 1. Revelation 8 and 1. Go ahead and read, brother.
And when he had opened the 7th seal.
Now there was a book that was sealed with 7 seals. And as each seal was taken off, something happened. And when he opened the 7th seal, what was the 7th seal? Then when he opened the 7th seal, this is what happened. Go ahead and read.
There was a silence in heaven about a space of a half an hour.
Go ahead and read.
And I saw the 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets.
Now under the 7th seal, there were 7 angels that was given 7 trumpets. You know, you hear about Gabriel blowing the trumpet all the time, right? But why did they ever say, well, first of all, the book didn't say Gabriel was going to blow no trumpet. It just said 7 angels was going to blow 7 trumpets. They don't never talk about, but a trumpet. And they said Gabriel is going to blow that, which they cannot read. But nevertheless, the book says 7 angels was given 7 trumpets. Go ahead and read on.
3. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne.
Go ahead and read.
And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with the fire of the altar and cast it into the earth, and there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake.
Go ahead.
And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound.
Now then you had the 7 angels and they began to sound. Go ahead and read.
The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up.
Now, we're not concerned really with the first 3 or 4 trumpets, but skip down to verse 12 now. Go ahead and read.
And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars. So whereas the third part of them was darkened, the day shone not for the third part of it, and the night likewise.
Go ahead.
And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe.
Now you know what woe means? That means great grief. 3 times he said it. Woe, woe, woe. Go ahead and read.
To the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound.
Now the last 3 trumpets, they was woe, which means great grief. You understand what I'm saying? All this trouble already going on, but now you've gotten down to the last 3 trumpets, and now they're woe, woe, woe. Go ahead and read.
9. Not chapter 9.
Now this is the 5th trumpet, which is the first woe. Go ahead and read.
And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven into the earth.
Go ahead.
And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit.
Go ahead and read.
And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power.
Now we coming back here in just a minute, but first let's go to Revelation chapter 17, and I'm going to show you what it is that came up out of that bottomless pit. Revelation chapter 17. This is Rome again that we are reading about here in this 17th chapter of Revelation. Revelation chapter 17, and we will begin reading at verse 1. Revelation 17, and we will pick it up at verse 1. 17 and 1. Okay, go ahead and read.
And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
Now, you know, Daniel referred to this religion that came with the Roman Empire as the little horn. But here it referred to as this great whore that sitteth up on many waters. Go ahead and read on.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Now, I always say you are an inhabitant of the earth, aren't you? Well, it said the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. What is this wine of her fornication? It is all that bad doctrine that have been put out there by this woman. This woman represents the Catholic Church, and she set forth much bad doctrine, much doctrine that is contrary to the Word of God. You know, she's the one that gave you the first day of the week is the Sabbath day. Sunday, in other words. She is the one that gave you Christmas and Good Friday and Easter and Palm Sunday and Halloween and a lot of other stuff. All of that stuff that you have been given, she is the one that gave that to you. And it said the inhabitants of the earth, they have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Go ahead and read on.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness.
Go ahead.
And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
There you have it. Who is the beast that got the 7 heads and the 10 horns? Rome. Ain't that who that is?
Yes, sir.
Now this woman, it came with the Roman Empire. Just as that little horn came with the Roman Empire. They both represent the religion that came with the Roman Empire. Go ahead and read on.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Now all that bad doctrine, that's what it is that's in that cup. And man have been drinking out of that cup ever since she set it out there. And they are still drinking out of it to this very day. It told you that the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with her wine, right?
Yes, sir.
And they're still being made drunk with it today. I used to drink out of the cup. At some point, all of us have drank out of that cup. Unless some little kid that was born into the word, if you've been around for a little while, you done hit this cup a few times. And most of the world is still hitting it. You understand what I'm saying? So now, go ahead and read on.
5.
Go ahead.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
You mean she's a mother? If